1% per day, what will be per annum? What will be
65%. 365% per annum.
365? If
So
we assume,
365 of what percent? Of which amount?
are we concerned? It doesn't matter whatever is the amount, because we are calculating percentage. If you calculate on 100, it is 1 rupee. If you calculate on 1000, it is 10 rupees. If you calculate on 10,000, it is 100 rupees. So in what
So
way
it will be
amount is certain?
365% if the interest is not accumulated over the year. And he is returning each day, so it can't be 365%.
He is returning each day. How much is he getting each day? Each day he is getting 1 rupee.
1 rupee
In the
on
entire,
different, but
in the
on
entire,
different amounts.
wait. No. You yourself are giving the answer. In the entire 1 year, how much money lender would have received in the form of interest?
365 rupees.
How much was his investment?
100 rupees.
If we
100 or
calculate
more?
each day, that
100.
more than 100.
How could it be more than 100? Suppose the money lender has borrowed money from bank. How much has he borrowed? More than 100 or 100?
100.
Are you sure? 100, na? That means his investment is 100 and his return is 365. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you got it now, let me give you one more reason. The question where we left or where we were stuck was, should this 365 be changed or not? Some of you have rightly said it should be slightly less, assuming that 250 days. But for the simplicity of calculation, if we assume that everything is for 365 days, working, borrowing, giving, everything was 365 days. So in effect, it is not 365. Why is it not 365? Because money is not being given for 24 hours. For how many hours money is being given, money is being lended?
So for say 12 hours.
For 50% of the day, maybe for instance morning till evening. Even if you assume 12 hours a day, so half an hour on, for half the day only, money is being given. Isn't it? I mean, do you agree that is it
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
given for half the day? Now, if given half the day, so this figure has to be multiplied to,
Yes, sir.
so it becomes 300. I mean, you multiply 365 by 2, you get 735. How much?
730.
730%. So do you agree that it is 730% or not? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I have explained to you the logic based on which what are the assumptions? Assumption was it is given in the morning, taken back in the evening. Further assumption you can say that business is there for entire 365 days. It is only for making the calculations simple. The amount was 100. You can assume 1 crore. Proportionately, the interest value will increase. And when you convert into percentage, you will arrive at the same percent or you will arrive at a different percentage. Percentage will remain unchanged or not?
It will remain same, sir.
It will remain same. Okay.
It will be same.
It will be same. I have spoken what I wanted to. You still have enough of time. When I say enough of time, you continue thinking over it. Maybe not now. Another 2 years, 2 days, 2 months, 10 years, so long as we remain alive and we interact with each other. If there is anything that comes to your mind which is contrary to what I have said, which is, or you come up with certain argument with which you are able to convince me, I'll change. These words are not written on stone. Depending on, if there are certain argument which I might not have thought of, there is no. Why should I stick to that? It can always be changed. But anyway, this is what we conclude today. It is as high as 730%. Now tell me, will the boy ever realize that he is paying 300% or 700%?
No, sir.
No. Will the money lender realize that he is making 365%? if you ask a money lender what is the rate of interest that he charges, usually what is his earning with lending money, do you think can anyone accept that he is charging 730%?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Further, do you think that he knows or he does not know, in your opinion, that how much is he charging?
He might not know.
Sir,
He
he knows.
might.
Sir, he probably knows because that is why he's giving 1 rupees only. I mean, he's comfortable with receiving only 1 rupee per day.
I have not conducted any. Yes.
I think he doesn't know about that much figure, sir. He knows that he is taking only 1 rupee per day from 100.
Suppose one of you take it as a project. You go and meet such money lenders and tell them what maximum rate of interest will satisfy you. If they say 30%, so per day he should not be charging 1 rupee per day. He should be charging just 10 paise or 20 paise, isn't it? Will he be willing to?
Yes, sir.
Will he be willing to take back, give 100 rupees and collect just 20 paise or 15 paisa? See, the only idea of giving you this example was unless our observations are, the way we want to see the world, the way we want to see. I mean, we want to see it. So therefore, the person who is doing this, he knows it fully well. Assume that he does not know, and you convince him. Do you think he will change his, business, reduce it by 1/10 or by 1/8?
No, sir.
Never.
No, sir.
Never. So see what is happening. People are getting exploited to an extent which is unimaginable. It's only one example I am giving you. If you start thinking from the other's perspective, if you start thinking from a different angle altogether, you will realize that the exploitation is to such an extent that, it is unimaginable. People even do not think that they are being subjected to such an exploitation. And one who exploits knows but continues doing so. Anyhow, let us come back to the accounting class. And but the message that the message that should be clear is that we should think beyond what is apparent, beyond what is happening, beyond what we see. If our observations are, sharp, if we just do not follow the suit what others are doing, we perhaps may be in a position to do something better for the society. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, interpretation of financial statements. Before we discuss interpretation of financial statements, let us very, very briefly talk about what are the limitations of financial statements because of which we need to interpret them. See, everything has a logic. Why should we study this? What is the advantage? If there is no logic in studying it, if it is not going to benefit you, why should you at all spend your time and money? So we have studied financial statements. There are certain limitations of those statements. To remove those statements, we analyze them, we interpret them. Those limitations are, they are technical in nature. That is, they are produced in accounting language. They are written in the form of debit and credit. They are written using most of the technical terms with which everybody who is associated with the financial statements, who reads those financial statements, or those who wants to make some use of financial statement may not be comfortable. So they should be either converted back into ordinary language, or interpretation should be such which an ordinary person should be able to understand, because he wishes to take a decision based on financial statements. You may recall the users of accounting information. Can you recall some of the users of accounting information?
Yes, sir. And
Tell me what-
Shareholders, stakeholders.
Okay, let us just let us confine to one only, shareholders. They are partly owners of the company. How do they take decision with respect to company? Normally, what are the decisions that they take? Normally, what decision does a shareholder take?
Buying or selling a share.
Correct. Buying or selling. On what data or what information his decision will be based?
Financial statement.
Financial statements. Suppose the shareholder is not a chartered accountant, or he has not attended accounting classes, or he has attended but he did not pass. How will he take decisions?
There will be a company which will help him, maybe.
He will hire somebody who will help him.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What if he himself is in a position to take a decision based on the financial statement? If he himself can understand, that will still be better. Therefore, if the companies can present, or the analyst can present the data to him in such a way that he can easily understand, so this technical limitation will be over. So what do we do in financial statements? We convert this technical part into some easy language which everyone can understand. Second limitation of financial statement is this is the information available as on a particular date. When do you see a financial statement? You always will find that financial statement or profit and loss account of so and so company limited as on 31st March 2018 or 2019 or 2020, isn't it? Financial statements are prepared, are made public, are posted on the website on a particular date. Let us say it is on 31st March 2021. What is the limitation of this statement itself? I'll repeat the question if it is not clear.
it is up to March 2021.
Okay, it is up to March up to 2021 or 2020 or 2019. What is the limitation in this sentence? What is bad about it? What is not
Don't know
good
the
about it?
starting point.
Sorry?
Starting point. Starting point.
No, it is not a starting point, it is the ending point.
Sir, we don't know the starting point.
Yes,
so that we can
number one,
calculate
we
period.
don't know the starting point, and more importantly, we do not know what has happened between the time period of starting and the time period of closing. Let us say it started on 1st April 2020. Up to 31st March 2021, the company has passed through 365 days. Several changes, several things might have taken place in the company, which will the financial statement available as on a particular date be able to convey? The financial statements are only saying that building worth rupees 20 crore, stock worth rupees 30 crore, salaries worth rupees 10 crore, machinery worth rupees 50 crore, income tax worth rupees so many lakhs. This is what they are saying. But what has happened between these two dates, which was very, very relevant, very important, but the financial statements fail to convey that information. This is what we mean, that they are giving you the financial health of a company as on a particular date. Can you think of some examples which will substantiate this limitation? Okay, I'll give you one. Think over it. Let us say in the company's balance sheet, there is a data which says bank loan 50 crore. Bank loan 50 crore. So you all know its meaning, that as on date, this company has to pay back a loan to the bank worth rupees 50 crore. This is an information everybody understands. I am explaining the limitation as on date. Further assume that during the year it had already 50 crore rupees loan to be paid. It borrowed from somebody and cleared the loan, and once again it borrowed. Therefore, the figure still stands at 50 crore. This is possible or not?
Yes, sir.
Possible. Further, this time it owed to State Bank of India. Earlier, 6 months back, it owed to Punjab National Bank, it borrowed from State Bank and cleared the loan of PNB. Suppose this happens 3 times: borrowed from A, paid to B, borrowed from B, paid to C, borrowed from C, paid to D. It happened 3-4 times. Was this a good, development or not?
Not a development.
Not a good development. But will the financial statement convey you this information? Will the financial
No, sir.
statement
No, sir.
will not convey. Therefore, we can say the financial statements are able to give you information only on a particular date. Financial statements do not convey several important financial events, several important financial dealings which might have taken place, which might have affected the financial health of a company, which might have had serious bearing on the financial health of a company, and still the financial statements are silent on that. So that is another limitation. Then they are static in nature, they are not dynamic. What is happening on daily basis, financial statements do not disclose. So there are some of the limitations of financial statements which necessitate, which places a demand, which want us to go for the analysis of financial statement, which want us to interpret financial statement. Now, to interpret financial statement, we have some techniques, we have some tools, we have some techniques. Those techniques we can use and interpret financial statements. Out of several techniques available, I have just included 5. These are part of your syllabus. We will use these 5 techniques: common size statement, comparative statement, trend percentages, ratio analysis, and front flow statement. What these techniques are, I'll be explaining to you in the subsequent slides. But again, as usual, before I move on to the subsequent slides, tell me if there is any question up to whatever we have discussed so far. Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
You are all in the dormant mode or what?
Yes, sir, you should proceed.
Okay, I'll proceed. Now, what was the first one? Common size statement. There is a rationale for doing so. I'll explain to you. There is a rationale. Look at the data of these 2 companies. Which one do you think is better?
A.
A. Okay. Now look at this data. It continues. A has the same information which was on the previous slide. B also had the same information. Now which one is better?
B.
Why is B better? Why is B better than A?
The profit percentage is higher.
Profit
according to
percentage is
him.
higher. Profit percentage is higher. Any other further observation? Any other further comment? Okay, let me tell you what comment perhaps could have been made. If we take information only on the basis of this, we will not take a correct decision. If we take further data, that means taking a decision merely on the basis of one fact is not enough. We need to see further information about the companies. So you have changed your decision here. Decision was A. Here your decision is B. Take one more data. Now which one is better? Which one is better, A or B?
A, sir.
Here A can be said better.
Here A can be said as better than B. Why?
It has more assets.
It has more assets. Okay. Any other comment from any one of you? All right, at this stage, you may not perhaps be knowing it also, but at least one point should be clear at this stage. If we just look at one data, we cannot take a decision. If we look at two relevant information, still our decision perhaps may not be correct. When we come here, still there is a problem. Look at fourth slide. What is your decision now? Which one is better?
B is better.
Say it a
has
bit louder.
B is better because it has less liability to pay.
B is better because it has less liability to pay. Okay, hold on here and recall that we discussed accounting as a language of business. In that, we discussed a concept called asset capital liability. While discussing liability, can we say it is not good to have liability?
Yes, in certain cases, in a
Wait,
case.
one second. Yes, please. Can we say it is not good to have liability? Because one of you said it has got less liabilities. Will our decision be based on less or more liability?
No, sir.
No. Then on what will it base? Liabilities in relation to assets, liabilities in relation to sales, liabilities in relation to profit, or what? Okay, fine. Let me just tell you once again. Here you had one information. Here you had two. You had three. You had four. So if we go on and on and on, there's no limit to the information that we can have. But at least this part should be clear to you that a decision cannot be taken merely on the basis of one information. Number one. Number two, it's not only for one particular day or year. It has to be relatively over a long period of time. And more importantly, it has to be, the information has to be related. Information has to be relevant. If somebody, if for example, I tell you, company A has 1000 shareholders, company B has 500 shareholders, will it have any impact on the profitability or impact on your decision?
No, sir. I guess.
I'll repeat the question. Company A has 1000 shareholders, company B has 100 shareholders. Will you change your decision like you have changed from here to here you have changed, from here to here you have changed, from here to here your decision was different? If I add one more information, the one I have just now said, will it change your decision or not?
So yes,
Sir, that
it
is
will change.
irrelevant.
Okay, what will be the reason for change of decision?
So the profit will be divided equally amongst the shareholders.
Are you sure? Profit is divided by number of shareholders or by number of shares they hold?
The number of shares they hold.
Number of shares they are holding. I am holding 10 shares. One of you is holding 100 shares. I'll get support dividend per share is rupee 1. I will get 1 rupee and you will get 10 rupees. So number of shareholders will not matter so far as DPS dividend per share is concerned. It is according to number of shares one is holding. Now having clarified this, now tell me which will will your decision change? Tell me, decision will change or not? Yes, please come on.
Yes, sir. When we know different facts, then obviously we will think about that. Like you said, it could change.
The idea of giving you this information is that for decision making purposes, we need to consider only the relevant information. Company may contain hundreds and thousands of information. How will our decision be taken? Decision will be taken on the basis of information which is relevant for the purpose of taking decision. This is where your understanding will lie. This is where your understanding of the subject will be dependent on, the analysis will be dependent on this subject. Now, again, look at this information. Sorry, this slide. What are the techniques which we shall use? All these 3-4 slides that I have provided were only to convince you, to inform you, or rather to convince you that there is a rationale for interpretation of financial statement. Because single information will not be of use, static information will not be of use, as on date will not be of use, or will not be of much of the use. Therefore, we need to interpret financial statement. What techniques shall we use? These are 5 that I have listed here one by one. First one I am talking about common size statement. What do we do in common size statement? Bring all figures to a common parameter. Bring all figures to a common parameter. The sales. How much is the sales? 1 lakh, and it's not, it should be a comma. Why is it this comma is not accepting? It's taking it only. Anyway, it's comma 1 lakh and 1 lakh and 10,000. 1 lakh 10,000. 1 lakh 70,000. If we just stay here, which company is better?
B.
B. But this information is incomplete. We need to, because apparently 110 is better, sorry, 170 is better apparently with 110. But if you look at, for example, profit, 14,500 is better than 10. But if we look at several other data, then only we will be able to take a decision. So when we use common size statement, we convert the entire information with respect to only one figure. Normally, it is converted with respect to sales. Our sales is 100. So what will be the purchase in terms of percentage? I have calculated these percentages. It is 60%. What will be the percentage of wages with respect to sales? It is 5%.
5%.
With respect to fuel, 3%. Like this I have calculated. Now, if we calculate and compare this percentage of this two percentages, percentage of company A and percentage of company B, then only we will be in a position to take a better decision. How could you take perhaps a better decision? How much money company A is spending on purchases? 60%. And how much is B spending? 55%.
55.
In this case, which one is more efficient? B is more efficient. When we look at wages, company A is spending 5%, and how much is company B spending?
10.34.
10.34. Which is more efficient here?
A is more efficient.
This is what is available on the screen. So this is what available on the screen, and almost all of you can explain like this. But our test of understanding lies in reading between these two lines, purchases and wages. Can you have any more observation here? Can you have one more observation here? If purchases are 55% here, why is it that wages are 10%? Why is it that this company is spending more than 5% on wages and saving 5% on purchases? Okay, not now, but think. Because yes, something you wanted to say?
Yes, sir. Sir, because they're a fixed asset or they have a better machinery for production of goods.
Okay. Who has better machinery?
A. They have
That is why it is spending 5%. B may not be having effective machinery, good machinery. That is why it is spending 15%. Likewise, there can be few more observations. This observation was correct. Likewise, there can be some more observation which will lead you to better management, which will lead to better calculation. But the only idea here that we wanted to make common size statement, because one single figure is not conveying us the correct meaning. So we are converting and we are comparing the percentages. That percentage helps us taking some better decision at the time to come. So this is one technique of financial statement analysis. We have another technique, comparative statement. What is it? Comparative. Looking at the figures only, look at this slide for a minute. Again, look at earlier slide for a minute. Look at these two slides one by one. What difference do you note between common size statement and comparative statement? What is the difference that you note between the two? I'll once again move on. Look at this slide for a few seconds. Then look at this slide. What is the main difference between the two?
Now the second company has more sales.
Figures appeared here are greater.
Or okay, figures are greater than. What did you say before?
So in previous slide, A company has more number, and now in this.
Okay. Any other observation?
So net profit percent is different here, while it was the same in the
net
previous
profit percentages. Okay. Fine. Good. Now we are in. So look at these figures. You will be in a position to further comment and further analyze. These were not that difficult, proposition. These were rather simple things. You just calculate percentage and interpret with respect to a percentage. You come to the third one, a trend percentage. Third category or third technique of financial statement is trend percentages, in which we observe the trend of past several years, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, any number of years. We calculate it for many years. If you look at page number 78 of the teaching material, which is available on the website, which is uploaded on this one, what do you see? Can you see that page now, or you don't have an access to that page?
Sir, we have access.
You have access. What does it show? It is showing 10-year financial summary of one company, XYZ Limited. What they are showing from 1981 till 1990. So amount is there and percentage. If you compare first year sales 34, last year sales 42. First year operating profit 72%, last year 92%. First year net profit 10.82, last year profit 4.91. Do you, are you reading these figures?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Look at the last figures. Last figure of the last row, last column.
91.
Yes, come up. 4.91. Look at the figure of operating profit. Last figure of row operating profit B. 92.67. Can we find out the reasons when our operating profit is 92.67%? Why is it that our net profit is only 4.91%? This is one. Secondly, when you analyze data for 1 or 2 years, you really do not get the real financial health of a company. You get it only once you analyze the data over a long period of time. Apply some simple statistical tests. Apply or use some simple statistical methods. If you are analyzing data of the past 10 years, which statistical technique should be useful? You have got several statistical techniques. The elementary statistics, all of you must have read. Will mean be applicable, or geometric mean, harmonic mean, which kind of mean or median or anything, not necessary these that I have spoken to, will be useful when you are analyzing a data of 10 years.
So arithmetic mean.
Or any other answer? You all are studying in a system wherein you have SPGA and CGPA, isn't it?
Yes,
If you have,
yes, sir.
so which one is useful, or which one is ultimately counted?
CGPA.
CGPA. How is it arrived at?
Sir, by summation of SPGA.
Okay. It reflects your overall performance of 6 or 10 or 8 or 4 semesters. 6 semesters, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Can you draw some hint? Can you take some hint from this and arrive at a correct answer for calculating trend percentages? We go for cumulative growth. We go for annual growth, annual compounded growth. We calculate annual compound growth, which takes into consideration data of previous years, data of 90 versus 89, 89 versus 88, 89 compared to 87. So when these effects are taken into consideration, you are calculating compound average annual compound growth. So that technique relatively is better than compared to calculating simple arithmetic mean or simple geometric mean or simple harmonic mean or other measure of central tendency. So we go for compound growth. Now the time is almost over. If there is a question, I can take up, and then we will continue our exercise tomorrow. A little, just one or two more things I wanted to share with you, that I have gone through. I am regularly monitoring your submission in the Google Classroom. Several of you are still showing a blank, missing, no submission or late submission. This is not a good trend. See, whenever your ultimate performance will be monitored either in the form of a YOC examination or a written examination or based on assignments and except in any method, we are not sure what will the university decide. All these things will play a major role. How serious have you been in the class? How good you have participated? How timely you have submitted? It's not an assignment as such. Am I asking you to repeat something which you have learned? How much will you take? Not more than 15-20 minutes for 1 week. And still you seem to be, not one of you, but several of you, I think almost 30% of you seem to be quite, not responsible, quite irresponsible, taking it is very lightly, which is not good, which is not something that I am appreciating. If you cannot invest 15-20 minutes in 1 week, what else will you do? So review your Google Classroom data and see what best can you do, and then look for these cost sheet, cost information also, and go for as many observations as you can. We'll continue because you have to attend another class, so you may kindly join another class and leave this one. You can exit, please.